Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Supportive oracle cards are You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace, illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Okay. What do we have for Capricorn? We got a lot of major cards, but like, okay, there's a bunch there. We're going to leave that there. The tarot cards have a lot to say, that's for sure. Okay, so there's like 4 cards face down that fell out of the deck. When this pops out, wherever it pops out, it usually is kind of like this is changing the situation. This is something that's just being thrown on you. So before this is actually thrown on you, whatever this is, because it's all face down, you've got friendship with asking for help on your side. So there's a good connection. This could be a work connection for a lot of you, could be personal, but basically there's people that you trust that you probably help out where you can. You need some help. You need something like, you know, I need information or assistance in some respect. So I feel like when I'm seeing asking for help on your side, it feels active. As in you've actively said, can you help me with this? Could you assist me with this? Could you tell me what you know? Could you help me do this? Something like that. You've put out this energy. You know, I'm getting like an honest, like, you know, if you could help me out with this, that'd be great type energy. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's very good, actually. Very good. Does that have to be upside down? Oh, boy. Okay. Something good for somebody else, but maybe not good for you? Or something good that... Okay. The first 2 cards, like... The first 2 cards coming in are the Sun card and the Ten of Cups. But they're flanked by the Nine of Coins reversed and the Six of Wands reversed. Like, these 2 are like, this is failure. Which is that? The Six of Wands? 6 of Wands is failure. Just flat out failure is what I'm feeling. Right side up, it would have been really good. Reversed Nine of Coins is like being really unhappy about it too and feeling stuck. Like something fails and something is really bothering somebody. This all happens at once. Somebody makes out in a wonderful way and this is perfect. They think everything is great. They think everybody's happy. Somebody else is completely destroyed and very upset. This puts you in a weird place. To me, it almost feels like a division. Like, it's like these 2 realms are almost trying to work independently, but the one succeeding is making the other fail, is how that feels. This bothers you greatly. You got the 5 of Swords, and you got the Two of Wands. When this happens, it's kind of like, whatever you wanted to happen, it's kind of like there's a problem here. Somebody's benefiting, and they're benefiting way too much. Somebody's failing, and it's just like, it feels like the one is benefiting and the other one is failing because of it. And it's really making you upset. It's kind of like, that's not right. Like, it's almost like somebody's getting taken advantage of. It's with the Sun card, it should, I don't know, I'm not feeling good about it. It makes me think of, like, you know, like for me, my migraines can be tripped by the sunlight sometimes. There's some people who are very sensitive to sunlight, like getting sunburn, getting, you know, like, this is when the sun is not so good. It's like good for some people, bad for others. That's what I'm feeling. And it's, I want to see the Sun card in a better light, but it's basically somebody's feeling like they're having a good time. It's almost like somebody's doing what they want, having a great time, neglecting the responsibilities, and somebody else is picking up everything else. This is really upsetting you. This is somebody who you thought better of, is what I'm getting. It's something you thought you thought better of, but now I'm getting choked up like, you don't want to see them like this. And you're like, I just got to put this back in. I got to put this back together. I'm like really flat. When I'm seeing this happen, I'm really like, I'm just almost like taken back. Like, I'm just like, what? Like, what? No. I'm very upset when I find out this information, and I'm having a hard time getting past it. When I do get past it, I got the Three of Cups here. Kind of like, wait a minute, whoa. This can't happen this way. This isn't right. This is really, really wrong. For some of you, I almost wonder if it's like siblings or like children, or maybe between like maybe your children and maybe your siblings' children or something. I'm getting some weird family connection. Kind of like, no, this is not how this goes. And you're trying to work it out. Like, there's a bunch of people, and you're just kind of like, I don't know, this isn't right. So you step in and go like, no, we got to balance this. No. Three of Cups comes in. You pull people together, and you're just kind of like, we need to really look at and think about what's going on here, because this isn't right. This is not right at all. One person shouldn't exceed way beyond, and then other people fail miserably. Like, no, we gotta pull this back. We gotta pull this back together. We gotta balance. This isn't right. This isn't right. You don't skip out on your responsibilities, and this other person does them all and has no time for any fun whatsoever. No, that's not. No. The life journey comes in. The finding a mentor. Are you that mentor? Partially. You're helping the situation like be addressed. You're helping it be addressed. You're like, this cannot keep going. Other people are also agreeing, like, no, this can't. Like, I feel like it's very obvious. Like, no, we can't do that this way. When I'm feeling a mentor, some other people are coming in, and something is being changed here. Something very major is being changed with the journey card, the life journey. Seven of Coins comes in. Oh, there's a card behind it. Three of Swords. Okay. It's going to take a while to get this back on track. I feel like somebody's very upset that things are changing. I feel like it might be obvious who. It's time to get everybody on point. Everybody has to do their fair share. And it's almost like a redivision of responsibilities. Somebody's very upset. But I'm like, yeah, well... Because I feel like somebody who's upset is end up doing more than they've ever done before. But it's fair. And that's the thing. Somebody here is going to end up doing more than they've ever done before. But it's right. It's right. Health comes in, Five of Cups and meeting angels. The Five of Cups is like, something has been out of balance, but I feel like when you're coming across it, you're not realizing for a long time something has been, it's almost like somebody's been getting more for the longest time, and somebody's been getting less for the longest time. It's like if there's the median here, somebody's been getting a little more than they deserve, somebody's been getting a lot less than they deserve. And now that you've balanced it, that person getting more than they deserved, they're not getting that anymore. And they want it back. So they're very upset. And it's almost like, the way I'm feeling about it, I'm just going to be fair, it really feels like they're realizing that they pushed it too far, and now they lost all the extra that they had. And they're regretting pushing it too far. Which, in truth, it's kind of good that they did, because this was not right. This needed to end anyway. What should have been is they should have realized they're getting way too much and somebody else is getting way too little. And they should have pulled it down and given that other person their extra. That's how that fairly would have worked out, but that wasn't happening. I don't see them looking at it that way. I feel like they were getting extra for the longest time. They pushed it a little too far, and they lost all their extra, and they're regretting that they pushed it too far, which the health is telling me this is balancing out, but just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but do what you got to do with it. Because like when I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's still not a healthy mindset to realize like somebody else was not getting their fair share. and you were making out too much. Not you, Capricorn, but whoever that person is. It's still not right, but, do what you got to do with that. Passion comes in on your side. Is this over? No. We got more coming in. Because I feel like you're really kind of you're kind of amped up. It says passion. Now, passion is passion. Passion is passion. You want to know more of the details at this point. You want to know, what else has been going on. I feel like I'm annoyed, and I'm like, wait, what else is going on? What has been going on? I want to know more. It's almost, I want to investigate a little more. I know it says passion, but that's where your passion is leading you. Your passion is to make sure, I'm not being a fool, or I'm not missing out on something else I should be aware of. So that's where your passion is leading you, in my opinion. Especially since you have Warrior coming out in the environment. I need to figure out what's real here. What is real? And how long has this been going on for? And who needs to actually be in control of things to make sure this doesn't happen again? Prosperity is coming in again in the environment. You're looking to find out what's been going off base, and also to set it up to where people are going to keep an eye on things, and prosperously, we're all going to get what we fairly should get. Nobody's going to get more than they deserve. Nobody's going to get less than they deserve. We're all going to get our fair share. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, if we're going to all go on vacation, we're all going to pay our way, but, we're going to divide up the responsibilities. Certain people are going to make sure the place stays clean. Maybe some other people prefer to make sure the meals are done. Other people are going to do whatever they make sure that things are on time and that the gas is available and that things go off as they're supposed to. We're all going to do our part, make sure that we all take a piece of the responsibility that we all agree is fair, and we do what we have to do. Especially I feel like you're also looking at this as kind of some people, they prefer to do the cleaning. That's just what they like to do. They don't really want to keep track of other people and make sure other people are doing what they're supposed to do. So they'll just do the cleaning. That's what they'll take care of. Other people rather do the cooking and take care of that aspect. And there's people who don't want to do the cooking. So the people who do, that's their responsibility. They'll do that. So on and so forth. So it's kind of like reworking things and figuring out what's going on here. The star card with the past lives. I also see you putting in an influence here, people who have been getting lack for the longest time, you're kind of well, you know what? They've been putting in a lot of effort, and I don't think that should be just brushed aside, well, they just paid too much, too bad for them. I don't think we should do that. It's kind of if you've been paying your phone bill, and you've been paying $10 too much for 5 years, all that money that you've been putting in, that should be pooled together, and now that should give you some other type of benefit. Maybe, basically $10 too much for 5 years, that would be close to $600. I'm guessing. I'm thinking $600. Just guessing. So then you as the Capricorn would be well, that $600 is that's what you put into this. You should get an extra $600 out as time goes on. We should put this to your benefit. That's to your credit. You have $600 to your credit, and we can use that to your credit as necessary. I feel like past lives with the star card, kind of that's what you want. Because if you did that, and you were putting in extra, it shouldn't just be pushed to the side and forgotten. No, you want that to be honored. So you're kind of all right, you put in all that extra for that long a time, that should go to your credit. And the same person who made out too much. Oh, I feel like this goes the other way for them too. Kind of I feel like you're also pointing that out. Because they're kind of they're realizing that they're not going to go back to this point of excess again, but they're going to have to make up for all they didn't do. And you're kind of all those times you didn't pay. I feel like I'm dealing with a financial institution, because when a financial institution realizes they've been shortchanged, they make you give them what they're owed. And I almost feel like that's happening to this person. Oh no, you got extra for all that time, so you're going to need to pay that back. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to actually happen, but kind of you've made out with a little bit extra for the longest time, so you should have this extra responsibility for at least a few years. I'm trying not to say it, but Kind of like, well, you made out too much for the longest time, so now it's time to pay up. Especially when you know they realized it. Like, they knew it. They knew it. Kind of like, now we're going to balance this. And you're just being flat out honest about it. You're not playing any games about it. Kind of like, hey, they paid $10 too much all that time, and you paid $10 too little. So $600 to their credit, $600 to your debit. You owe $600. Hope you pay it however you need to over time. It's kind of like that. That's how it feels. And it seems fair. Sounds fair. In the banking world, I feel like they would look at it as fair. I don't know. It feels very technical to me. I'm going to let it go. I feel like people are agreeing. Like, you make sense. It makes sense. Beauty and community is telling me you make sense. It's really hard to argue against. The only reason you would argue against it is because maybe you want to get away with something you shouldn't. That's only the reason you wouldn't agree with it. It's kind of what I'm getting. And you're like, no, this is fair. So people are agreeing with you. Chakra balancing is coming in. You're balancing the situation, but you're also setting something up here. Especially with, like, addressing the past. If you gave too much, you need to get, if you gave too much, that should go to your credit. If you took too much, it's going to go to your detriment. What you're setting up is for other people to realize, hey, if you start getting too much, you might want to say something. Because somebody else is probably giving too much. And you don't want to get down the road and have to pay back extra. So say something now. Say something now, balance it out now. So you're setting up that type of mentality. Like, all right, so if you're making out extra and you keep making out extra, you might want to have that checked into, because sooner or later, that extra, you're going to owe that. It seems like you're creating a good system here. It feels good to me. Because you're keeping other people honest. Kind of like, if I start making extra, I better find out why. And make sure that makes sense to me. The goddess comes in. Self-acceptance. I feel like this is like people owning their own situation. Like, self-acceptance is feeling like self-ownership. People are owning their own piece of it. Goddess is making me feel like this is coming in a very caring way. Caring. I-N-G. Because I know that might have sounded something else for a second there. Emperor is coming in here. This is where, like, we need to deal with the truth of it. The truth is here, but we're going to deal with it point blank. We're not going to play games like, I think this is fair, so we're going to do this, and you think that's fair, so you're going to do that. No, point blank. On paper, this is how it works. Everybody's on the point. Everybody's just face value. There's nothing hidden behind the scenes. Right out there. It's not about if people like it or not. It's like, this is where it is. And if somebody's upset that they have to pay back something that they got extra benefit for, well, everybody's going to have their say, and they're going to say, well, and I almost feel like you're like, well, if other people want to pay your part, if other people want to go ahead and chip in for the $600 that you owe, and they want to pay for your debt, then that's okay. You're putting it out there. If somebody else wants to make up for that debt for you, they want to pay your way, that's their business. But as far as I'm concerned, this is how this balances out. It seems almost very harsh, but I don't think so. I think you're just putting it right on point. You're correcting what was wrong, and you're also setting it up so that way, hey, if it starts going out of balance, just so y'all know, everybody's going to get their fair share eventually. So, if you're going to take advantage of the situation, it's going to balance out later. So you might not want to do that, and that's what you're telling other people. I think that's good. I like how this ends out. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.